tonight, and we'll be talking about the third stimulus package that was essentially passed, essentially today. Like, it was fully passed and everything today. So with that, we'll be going into a discussion. Let me go ahead and just set up this Instagram Live really quick. Yeah, it looks like it's acting a little funny today. All right, let's go live. So yeah, stimulus package 3 discussion. We just had the new bill that was essentially passed today, at least in the House of Representatives, and the Senate had already passed it. So I'm just going to read some. Today is not going to be too long. For those on the Zoom, thanks for joining us. And if you do have a question, please let us know. We won't be too long today, just about 30 minutes or so. Just keep it short. It is tax season, and we still got stimulus package 2 to deal with. With that being said, let me just introduce myself. My name is Jeff Badu, and I'm a parallel entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier. I'm the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprises, LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate in the finance industry. So what we do is we provide a suite of financial services, including our marquee company, which is Badu Tax Services. And that's the firm that does tax preparation, tax planning, and tax representation for individuals and businesses across all 50 states in the U.S. And we also have clients in about 20 countries at the moment. And with that, we also own Badu Investments, LLC, and that's primarily my real estate investment company. So there, what we do is we buy and hold apartment buildings on the south side of Chicago. Right now, we control 57 units on the south side. And we're consistently looking to grow and consistently looking to help the communities, revitalize the communities. And on top of that, we have the Badu Foundation, which is our nonprofit that does financial literacy education to the youth and to the homeless in order to, improve their financial literacy. And on top of that, I run Badu Life and Health Solutions, LLC, with my beautiful wife, who's actually sitting right next to me. And with that, we do life and health, life insurance solutions. So if you need life insurance as a protection tool or as a wealth building tool, we can definitely help you out with that. We actually had a very powerful webinar last night with one of the industry's top experts, and it was very, very powerful. A lot of people got some value out of it, and we hope to be talking to you about that topic someday. Of course, we have the webinars that we do, or the radio show on 98.3 FM. And you can always check out my personal website, which is jeffbadu.com. Once again, that's jeffbadu.com, jeffbadu.com. So today we're just talking about the third stimulus package. The House just approved it today, just 4 hours ago. This is a $1.9 trillion pandemic aid bill. I'm looking at the bill right now. If you're on a Zoom today, we're essentially just going through the bill, right? We're just hitting some points. That's all. Just making you aware of what's up, right? $1.9 trillion just being released into the economy. They're just handing out the money. And for those that may not know, we also had the stimulus package. We had the first stimulus package, and then we had the second stimulus package. The first stimulus package was $2 billion. I'm sorry. Let me correct that. It was $2 trillion for the first stimulus package. All right, some of these numbers, all you gotta do is add some zeros to it, and it starts adding up. Then the second stimulus package was $900 billion. And now we have the third stimulus package at $1.9 trillion. Yes, with a T. So the House of Representatives voted 2020 to 2011 or 211 on Wednesday to approve the Senate version of a $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill, which President Joe Biden is expected to sign into law. He's basically already signed the thing. And this is, by the way, through the Journal of Accountancy that I'm reading from, so definitely want to recognize them as a resource. Big shout out to the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, or AICPA for short. And they equip me with the infinite resources. And I forgot to mention my purpose in life. My purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. Let me repeat that one more time. My purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry, such as Joshua, right, and Waddell, to take hold of infinite resources, such as what I'm delivering to you tonight, in order to create an abundant lifestyle. Imagine your life that had more in it, right? A world that wasn't filled with scarcity. It was just filled with abundance. $1.9 trillion is a lot of abundance, right? So we really have to pay attention to this stuff. By the way, if you're not taking notes, please do so. I do want to give a quick shout out to the book Infinite Expansion. How to infinitely expand your vision of abundance. Definitely recommend checking out this book. It's available on Amazon. And you can also catch it on my website, which is jeffbadu.com. All right, so the third stimulus package. So they had a previous version of the bill that was approved by the House on February 27th, and then there were changes by the Senate. And the House said, you know what, forget it. We'll just accept your changes as it is. So they went ahead and basically accepted it, and now it's on the president's desk to just sign. All he's got to do is sign it, which I believe he already did sign it. So there you have it. I mean, the package has been released. Now, what's composed of the package? First of all, there's $1,400 stimulus checks. Joshua, who's based in Kenya, he said that, man, I would love to be in America right now. I mean, can you imagine? Right, $1,400 to each person in your family, including yourself, your spouse, your kids. Oh man, that is big time. You're talking a $1,400 check. Right, in some cases, direct deposit straight to your bank. You don't do anything. You don't sweat for that money. You don't work for that money. And oh, by the way, they're using taxpayer dollars to fund this $1,400 checks for everybody, basically. So if you're paying taxes right now, you're actually funding the stimulus package, right? Nothing wrong with that, because the way the system is set up is that basically those who make the most money, those who make more money, they ultimately end up paying the most in taxes because they have the most resources. So those infinite resources now come back down to those who may not have a job, or to those who may be going through a struggle financially. But in this case, they said if you make $75,000 to $80,000 in adjusted gross income, and shout out to the married couples, right? $150,000 for the married couples, you get to have a stimulus check, $1,400. I mean, $150,000. That's a lot of money. You're telling me that you're gonna give somebody who makes $150,000, a married couple that makes $150,000, a stimmy. Right, that's pretty big, you know. So as Joshua was mentioning, he said, man, I'd love to be in America. I'm like, man, it's good to be in America. And I hope you join us, you know, in the near future, because they're just throwing out the money right now. We haven't even gotten to PPP or anything like that yet. All right, so, and by the way, you should expect those checks in about 2 weeks. It might even land by next Friday. Right, so money straight to your bank account. If you filed your 2019 or your 2020 tax return, it'll most likely use the information from 2020. If you haven't filed 2020, then they'll use the information from 2019. And then if you haven't filed 2019, you're not getting a stimmy. Right? That's what it is. Yeah, Tobias said, yeah, that's the buzzword nowadays, the stimmy. Giving out stimmies all day, every day. That's the theme of 2021. They're just handing it right now. The new version of the bill makes it possible for eligible entities that receive a first or second draw Paycheck Protection Program loan after December 27, 2020 to also receive, a shuttered revenue or shuttered venue operators grant. I mean, can you imagine? So they created this grant called the Shuttered Venue Operator, right, which allows you to get a certain amount of your gross revenue if you're a shuttered venue. Not only can you get that, but now you can also get PPP, first round and second round. You know, and somebody asked the question, any chance the 4/15 deadline gets extended? Yeah, I think it's likely. The April 15th tax filing deadline will most likely get extended to June 15th. Why? Because the AICPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, advocated for it, and I think they'll get their way. They always get their way. Same with the PPP. If you haven't applied for PPP, by the way, I think you should. Shout out to Joshua on the team who helps us with the PPP loans. And do want to shout out to Waddell on the team who's helping us with the tax returns. I see William joining us on the Instagram. Shout out to William, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Badu Tax Services. And do want to again give my beautiful wife, Yvonne, a shout out, who's the CEO of Badu Life and Health Solutions, LLC. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody else who joined us today as far as team members are concerned. We do want to shout out our clients, right? To those, you know who you are. Can't mention any names due to confidentiality. I want to shout out anybody who's contributed to the progress and the growth of our firm and our enterprise. We truly do appreciate it. But as far as the stimulus package, a few other things to consider. For one, unemployment is $300 a week. Right? They did want it to be $400, but they said it's only $300, just fine. This might screw over a lot of taxpayers who've already filed, but now, as of the I don't know why they do these things. For the 2020 tax year, the first $10,200 of unemployment benefits is tax-free. So if you've already filed your 2020 tax return, they haven't provided guidance, right? The IRS is going to take weeks. Yeah, and absolutely, that young Stimmy, Stacy said on Facebook, shout out to Stacy, we go way back. And basically, if you receive, so the first $10,200 of unemployment benefits are no longer taxable. If you make less than $150,000 in a year, I don't know what they were thinking when they came up with some of these numbers, by the way. You're telling me somebody who collected unemployment and made less than $150,000, they don't have to pay taxes on the first $10,200 in unemployment? I mean, that's quite insane. A six-figure earner who collected unemployment does not have to pay taxes on up to $10,200 of unemployment benefits. And that's for 2020. And I can imagine they'll do it prospectively moving forward. So if you've already filed your 2020 tax return, right, and you basically collected unemployment, the first $10,200 is supposed to be not taxed. You know, so you might want to reach out, get some guidance. The IRS needs to provide guidance on this one. It'll probably take them about 2 months to do it, to be honest. That's just the IRS. They're busy doing tax returns with tax season and all that. So nobody knows what's going to happen with that one. In our firm, we've already submitted a lot of tax returns and there are quite a bit of unemployment. But basically, $300 a week in unemployment benefits that you can claim or that you can get on top of, so this is the supplement, this is the pandemic unemployment. This is that COVID-19 special, right? So on top of that, we got a shout out. He says, you are a good man, brother. Absolutely. Appreciate the compliment. All right. So for my small businesses, last night we did a PPP. Shout out to Eugene, who was on the Clubhouse with me. We'll do a Clubhouse every Tuesday, by the way. If you guys aren't part of it, every single Tuesday at 7 p.m., we got a Clubhouse where we're talking finances, we're talking taxes, we're talking life insurance, we're talking all that. So similar to my radio show at 7 p.m. Monday, on Tuesday, we'll be on Clubhouse if you guys want to join us. If you don't know what Clubhouse is, you might want to get to know it. It's a platform that allows you to host conversations via audio. All right, so $50 billion in funding to benefit small businesses through a variety of programs, including $25 billion for restaurants and bars. And man, they're going through it right now. $15 billion for Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL for short. The advance payments. So you actually get an extra $5,000, right? Extra $5,000 if you already got the EIDL up to the $10,000 grant. As long as you had a big revenue drop, in 2020 compared to 2019, now you get an extra $5,000 on top of your $10,000. So you might want to take advantage of that. By the way, my firm, Badu Tax Services, does assist you in navigating through the lenses of this package, right? This new package. We haven't even gotten done with the second package yet. And we're already on the third package. That's how much money the government, quote unquote, has nowadays. Of course, they're about to be in about $5 trillion worth of debt. You know, they're just out in the Fed. They're probably in the back office right now printing money like crazy. But for the PPP, Paycheck Protection Program loans, they put about $7.25 billion in that program. And oh, by the way, in the second round, there's already over $100 billion left in PPP. A few other things includes money for healthcare entities, vaccine distribution, and testing related to COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, they had to include something with that because we are in fact in a pandemic. It provides assistance to K through 12 education, colleges and universities. I'm glad they did that. And then it also includes funding for state and local governments. Right? So state and local governments get that. So for example, the rental assistance. So there's about $25 billion that went to rental assistance. That's pretty good. If you're a landlord and your tenants are behind or they're having a hard time paying, make sure you apply for rental assistance through your local housing authority, right? Or housing agency. So for example, Illinois Housing Development Agency, IHDA. That's for Illinois, my state of Illinois. So reach out to your states, reach out to your counties, just reach out. Go on their websites. They got information all over. In the first round, they handed $5,000 per tenant. Second round, they were supposed to, but I haven't heard anybody receive their $5,000 yet. I don't know where they're hiding the money, but hopefully it gets to the hands of the good people pretty soon. So if you're a landlord or if you're a tenant, right, struggling with rent, you're behind and, at risk of homelessness, I had such a touching call with somebody the other day, and they were brutally honest. They were very honest. They said they're on the verge of being homeless, and they heard that I help the homeless. So what I told them was, hey, go out and apply for this relief package. Go out and apply for this, rental relief. As of the third stimulus package, that's probably about $15,000 towards your rent, right? Goes to your landlord, but of course covers your rent. Make sure you have a nice house, a nice roof over your head. That's one of the most important things to make sure you have in life. If not, I wouldn't say the most important, but it's definitely extremely important. It does not raise the federal minimum wage, which the House wanted to be increased to $15 per hour. So they paused on that. And then it does not include the funding for a bridge to Canada in upstate New York over the St. Lawrence Seaway or the extension of a railway system near San Francisco. Funding for both projects was included in the original House bill. So there you have it. That's stimulus package number 3. $1,400 stimmies. Forgot to mention the child tax credit, about $3,600, $300 a month straight to your bank account starting in June. That's big. So if you got kids, right, or if you want some kids, $300 a head, straight to your bank account as long as you qualify, so hey, it might be a good time, so $1,400 stimmies, $300 per month for child tax credit, and then you have the $300 a month, $300 a week on top of your original unemployment. And then you have the PPP, $7.25 billion, EIDL, $15 billion, rental assistance, $25 billion. And with that being said, I would love to open up the floor for any questions. We'll do about maybe 3 minutes or so for Q&A. I wanted to keep today short because we're in the middle of tax season. We got a lot going on. We're filing like crazy. We got a big deadline next Monday. The partnership and S-Corp deadline is March 15th. And we, of course, are submitting PPP applications and EIDL. So Lily said, we're looking for kids from certain newlyweds. I wonder who those newlyweds are. Appreciate it, Lily. And thanks for joining us last night, by the way. All right, so $1,400 per dependent. Yeah, $1,400 a head. If you got 10 people in your family, that's $1,400 times 10. If my math serves me right, that's $14,000. So ultimately, it's $1,400 regardless of age, basically. So it could be grandpa, grandma. You know, they wanted to make it fair. If you're taking care of grandpa, then yeah, you should be getting a stimmy because you're taking care of him. Why should it be somebody who's under the age of 17 to get a stimmy? You know? So with that being said, let's see if there's any other questions at this time. How do you qualify for PPP? That's a long story, but basically, so we had actually a webinar on that. You need a 2019 Schedule C, first of all, right? So you need a Schedule C. I won't go through the details of that because we covered it quite a bit because we've covered it so many times. But basically, you need a 2019 Schedule C. If you got a 2019 Schedule C or a business, just feel free to reach out to us. You take your gross revenue of your 2019 Schedule C, divide it by 12, and you multiply it by 2.5. All right, can you get EIDL loan in each round? No, it's only a maximum now of $15,000 total. As far as the loan, they haven't said anything. SBA still behind. I can't imagine inflation does go high with everyone having so much cash. You best believe. That's what they're trying to do. They want to pour money into your bank account so that you can go buy stuff. You can go buy clothes, shoes, jewelry. Hopefully you're doing something good by buying stocks, bonds, right? Real estate. You're doing good stuff with that money. So yeah, what happens when you release more money into the economy is that you ultimately get more, when you release more money into the economy, you get more spending. What happens when people spend more? It leads to inflation, which is the diminishing purchasing power of your money. It's sort of a Peter, Rob, and Paul story where you pay taxes, then you get a stimmy. Let's say you pay $10,000 in taxes. That $10,000 is going back into the stimulus program, the pot, right? It sounds a bit like a Ponzi scheme in a way, but it's a legal Ponzi scheme because the government is the one running it. Anything that's run by the government is quote unquote legal. So nowadays, that's what it is. In order to deem something legal, it has to be called by the government. And absolutely. The question was to save this live. Yeah, this is save all day, every day. All day, every day. Just check out my IG live page or IGTV. Definitely check me out on that. We got a question here. Let's see. Let me make sure we get some lighting in here. Let's see here. Is the PPP only for established businesses? No, it's not for established businesses. You can be an Uber driver, Lyft driver, dog walker, stand on the line for people, exotic dancer, whatever you got. As long as you got a 2019 Schedule C, come see me, reach out to us, send us an email, support@BaduTaxServices.com. Once again, support@BaduTaxServices.com. Right now, we got a big backlog, so we do sincerely apologize. These programs are so hot that we're getting so many inquiries, and there's only so many of us. So please give us some time. Give us about a day or so. We'll definitely be sure to respond to your email. I can tell you my email is pretty backlogged by at least a day, by at least 24 hours right now. I usually try to respond within 24 hours or so. So please bear with us. It's a lot, right? We're here to help. We're here to provide the infinite resources, but we also need some patience. The money will come. The money will come to you no matter what. We'll make sure the money lands in your hands. And by the way, the PPP deadline will most likely get extended, just so you know. I wouldn't wait. Act, at least initiate the contact, but at the same time, deadlines will most likely get extended. The tax filing deadline will certainly get extended to June 15th, I believe, because now the Congress is now pushing the IRS. They're basically forcing the IRS to extend the deadline because they just made a rule change in the tax code as of retroactive to 2020, saying that if you made up to $10,200 in unemployment benefits, you don't have to pay taxes on that. I wish they would have told us this before tax season started. But, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Hopefully they'll figure out a system to handle all these changes, because I could tell you we're about to get a ton of questions in our firm. And this is what sometimes causes the backlog of responses, because we get so many questions, so many inquiries, and we do respond to each and every single inquiry that comes to the firm, by the way. Every single one. It might take us some time for certain things, but we do respond. So let's do maybe one more question, and then we'll wrap it up. I don't know if Joshua Waddell has a question, but definitely would be more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you all for joining us on Zoom, Instagram, and Facebook. This is recorded. This will be posted on my YouTube channel. This is posted on my Facebook page right after this. This will be posted on my IGTV. Get knowledge, get educated on this stuff, because they're just pouring money, and I would hate for you to be the one to miss out. And then when tax rates go up, then they hit you real hard. You might as well get your money right now. Get your money right now. Don't be the person that gets stuck with a big tax bill 5 years from now, because they have to reimburse the money. They got to fund this thing somehow. Right now, they're just printing money. They're just making the dollar go so down. They're trying to get inflation to as high as it can be. So it's quite, in my opinion, I view this whole thing as some sort of scheme, right? I don't want to say scam, but it's a scheme. It's a sort of cycle that, sort of repeats itself. But take advantage, One thing I've learned about the American system is if you understand the system and you use it to your advantage in a legal way, you will gain, right? America is a place of systems. Systems do work. In some countries, unfortunately, systems don't work that well, but in America, we got systems. We got policies. Take advantage, get your money, get your stimmy, and I hope you have a great rest of the year. I pray that it's fruitful and it's abundant. With that being said, let me go ahead and stop the recording on the Zoom. And I do want to thank everyone for joining tonight. Remember, this will be posted. So I hope you all have a great night, and see you guys.